It's been a minute since Hamilton Days, so you know I am bringing it back. I'm excited, and do not adjust your sets, friends. I changed up the lighting in here a little bit, hopefully kind of a little bit cooler as we get into 3 songs today. Now, these are some of the most intense in the musical, according to you. It's Burn, the Reynolds Pamphlet, and Hurricane. I'm a little nervous. Welcome back, friends, and a special welcome to all the new friends out there. I'm YoBGS, and I wanted to thank a lot of you because we are coming up on the end of Hamilton, and I was wondering about some of the other Hamilton-related stuff you wanted to see. Tons of you have been leaving comments with really cool suggestions, but before we get to those, we got to get through the rest of the musical, and today, there's apparently 3 songs that all go together. Hurricane, the Reynolds Pamphlet, and Burn. And I'm already nervous because Burn I saw as a Phillipa Sue special, so I know it's going to be tugging on those heartstrings a little bit. If you like these videos, if you dig what I'm doing, please make sure to subscribe. It helps the channel out more than you know, and YouTube's been kind of messing with those sub numbers lately, so I would appreciate it. One other thing before we get started, if you are here because you know I used to cover a lot of Minecraft stuff and you are letting me know about Technoblade, I just want to know, I made a post on my community tab. I don't really think it's appropriate to make a video on that subject, so I'm going to let my community post stand for what it is and keep on going with some of the stuff that we are doing here, which includes 3 Hamilton songs. You know them. You love them. I don't. I think I will, though. So here we go. All right, Hamilton has found out at this point that actions have consequences.
In the eye of a hurricane there is quiet for just a moment. The yellow sky. When I was 17, a hurricane destroyed my town.
It's already interesting to see that in this, Hamilton has been boom, 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 boom. Like his lines in particular are some of the fastest and the densest in the show. And for him to be singing and choosing his words so deliberately here, it's almost like you can see the thoughts as they're happening.
I didn't drown. I couldn't seem to die. I wrote my way out. Wrote everything down far as I could see. I wrote my way out. I looked up and the town had its eyes on me.
Throwing back to history, having its eyes on you. And also, I think there's something good about that too. You know, everybody finding their own coping mechanisms for dealing with tragedy. And it goes to explain, right, why when he was writing the Federalist Papers, he was the one that wrote, what, 59 of them? I think they said. And it's obviously because he uses writing to cope with tragedy. I mean, he was writing his letters back and forth with Lawrence. You know, he's been known to write back and forth with Angelica when she was in England. So he's very much a written communicator. And I think this part's kind of letting us know that that's what saved him when he was younger.
They passed a plate around, and total strangers moved to kindness by my story. Raised enough for me to book passage on a ship that was New York
Okay.
bound. I wrote my way out of hell. I wrote my way to revolution.
All right, the momentum's coming. Before we hear it, I want to know in the comments, is that true? Is that how Hamilton got to the U.S.? Because it's an incredible story, but it almost seems like it's so true. It's one of those ones that could be a myth. You know what I mean?
I was louder than the crack in the bell. I wrote Eliza love letters until she fell. I wrote about the Constitution and defended it well. And in the face of ignorance and resistance, I wrote financial systems into existence. And when my prayers to God were met with indifference, I picked up a pen, I wrote my own deliverance.
Nice. I like it. I like that he is not, because I was worried at the end of the last one, I was worried at the end of We Know that his take on everything was just going to be to fade away. But like a hurricane, right? Hurricane comes in, hits with everything. Then you get to the eye of hurricane. I think you said this at the beginning. There's quiet, but there's that back end of the hurricane. There's that whole second chapter. So is this him coming into his second chapter?
In the eye of a hurricane, there is quiet for just a moment.
And everyone's swirling around him like a hurricane, well, more like a tornado, but.
I was 12 when my mother died. She was holding me. We were sick and she was holding me. I couldn't seem to die. I'll write my way out. Write everything down far as I can see. I'll write my way out.
Now we're getting the reprisal of Wait For It. Because of two things, right? One, he's not willing to wait for it. And two, if you are in a hurricane, and I say this as someone who grew up in South Carolina, if you're in a hurricane and you get to the eye, you don't leave. You wait for it, because the second half is coming.
Overwhelm them with honesty.
Is it too little, too late?
This is the eye of the hurricane. This is the only way I can protect my legacy.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait.
The Reynolds Pamphlet.
The Reynolds Pamphlet. Have you read this?
It feels very much, and I love the beat that they chose for it, but it feels kind of like People's Court. I'm going back. Are you hearing this again? This like did it.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait.
The Reynolds Pamphlet.
The Reynolds Pamphlet. Have you read this? Alexander Hamilton had a torrid affair, and he wrote it down right there. Highlights.
Wow, okay. So the first instance that I know of people having blackmail on you, so it's a Kim Kardashian strategy. Someone has blackmail on you, so you just release it yourself so that you can control what people see and the storyline behind it.
The charge against me is a connection with one James Reynolds. For purposes of improper speculation, my real crime is an amorous connection with his wife for a considerable time with his knowing consent. Damn! I had frequent meetings with her, most of them in my own house.
At his own house. At his own house.
This is like it's like a rap song, right? Except it's a ye old, oh no. Never mind. I was forgetting for a second that that's actually his son.
Mrs. Hamilton, with our children being absent on a visit to her father.
No. Have you read this?
Never gonna be president now. We're never gonna be president now. We're never gonna be president
I don't
now.
think, but did he want to be president? Because that strikes me, wait. And also, didn't you have to be, wait, or was this before they made it so that you had to be born an American to be president? Because I guess early on it would have been pretty difficult to find native-born Americans that early in the Republic.
One less thing to worry about. One less thing to worry about.
I came as soon as I heard.
Angelica,
All the way from London. Damn.
Angelica, thank God someone understands what I'm struggling here to do.
I'm not here for you.
No, it's here for
I know
Eliza.
my sister like I know my own mind. You will never find anyone as trusting or as kind. I love my sister more than anything in this life. I will choose her happiness over mine every time.
I mean, that is exactly what she did earlier as I'm sitting here like with the track list. Was that did she... This is I'm trying to remember which song this is a reprisal of. Is it Satisfied or is it Helpless? I think it's the lines from Satisfied, but man.
We had a side. I'm standing at her side. You can never be satisfied.
Yep.
God, I hope you're satisfied.
Thank you for answering my question.
We're never gonna be president now. We're never gonna be president now. One less thing to worry about. One less thing to worry about.
Good to see it even made it back to the king, I suppose, because Lord knows no royalty has had any sordid affairs at any point in time. Lord knows none of the other guys who were ragging on him ever did anything wrong, so...
Have you read this?
Imagine that being the one thing. Imagine that disqualifying someone from becoming president. I'm from the future and no.
See somebody ruin their own life. His poor wife.
Yeah, and that's where I thought this was gonna go. This is what I was worried about here.
I saved every letter you wrote me.
And before I get too deep into Burn, I want to know also Eliza Hamilton, well, Skylar Hamilton. I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. I was going to say, was she as innocent as she seems? But, like, because in the musical especially, it seems like Eliza did absolutely nothing. She was just encouraging, right, supportive, raised the kids essentially by herself while Hamilton was off not only carousing, but, like, doing all the important work that he was doing, too. So was she really just sort of an innocent figure in all of this, or was there more to her than meets the eye in this?
From the moment I read them, I knew you were mine. You said you were mine. I thought you were mine. Do you know what Angelica said when we saw your first letter arrive? She said, be careful with that one, love. He will do what it takes to survive. You and your
There's a difference between surviving and thriving, though, right?
words flooded my senses. Your sentences left me defenseless. You built me palaces out of paragraphs. You built cathedrals. I'm rereading the letters you wrote me. I'm searching and scanning for answers in every line.
No.
Some kind of sign. And when you were mine.
Oh, man. Look, if it doesn't pull your heart out, I don't know what will. Because, again, that all makes it seem like, yeah, she just did, like, she, again, was just an innocent bystander in all of this craziness. And that's the trick, too. And I think you see this a lot nowadays, especially. People who use words as they're living are very good at either telling you exactly what they want you to hear, exactly what you want to hear, or, you know, being able to tell you the truth very concisely. And for someone like Hamilton, who wrote his entire life, like, he knew exactly what he was putting into those letters, and I doubt, you know, he left any sign there.
The world seemed to burn. You published the letters she wrote you. You
Dude!
told the whole world how you brought this girl into our bed. In clearing your name, you have ruined our lives.
That's what's weird, too, is it didn't clear his name. It cleared his name from a criminal sense, because now people know that he wasn't doing anything inappropriate with treasury funds. You know, he wasn't engaged in any insider trading or anything like that. But so it's like he was either going to go to jail, I guess, or admit all this and have no life anyway.
Do you know what Angelica said when she read what you'd done? She said, you've married an Icarus. He's flown too close to the sun. You and your words obsessed with your legacy. Your sentences border on senseless, and you are paranoid in every paragraph how they perceive you.
She got there at the exact same moment I did. All of her, which is wild because it would seem in his letters to Angelica, in his letters to the Reynoldses, in his letters to John Lawrence, they were more of a two-way street. But apparently in his letters to Eliza, it was all about him. Good.
Let future historians wonder how Eliza reacted when you broke her heart. You have torn it all apart. I'm watching it burn. Watching it burn. The world has no right to my heart. The world has no place in our bed. They don't get to know what I said. I'm burning the memories.
Good. I love this in particular, not just because there's actual fire on stage at this point, but that's fair because she didn't sign up for any of this.
Burning the letters that might have redeemed you. You forfeit all rights to my heart. You forfeit the place in our bed. You'll sleep in your office instead with only the memories of when you were mine. I hope that you
Fair. No one's gonna begrudge her that. The bucket must be full of water. Neither here nor there, but the bucket must have been full of water for it to not catch everything on fire. And wild, too. I mentioned this at the beginning, and it sticks out and rings extra true here. The fact that there was very little rap in this version. You know what I mean? Like, there was, for a musical that is very high-paced in its rhythm, this whole segment was just super intentional. And again, now we get to like the home stretch, right? He's lost almost everything. I know the next song is a Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's Blow Us All Away, which again is gonna make me a little bit nervous. I'm definitely bummed to be toward the end of all of this, you know? Like, it's crazy to think that, I don't know, this has been such a wild journey for the channel, and a wild journey for everyone, I feel like, involved in the musical. So hopefully, if you like these videos, you subscribe and you're here, because there's a lot of really cool stuff coming down the way. As always, friends, take care, and I will see you for, well, the rest of Hamilton